Hello, everyone, and welcome to SpeakUpSis podcast. This is the place where everyday women and men have an opportunity to share their stories to inspire yours. We say what you think no one needs to hear, but everyone needs to know. I'm your host, Angel Charmaine, and tonight is our special segment of the Small Biz Spotlight. We started this segment maybe about a year or so ago as just a space for people with budding businesses. I know we call them small businesses. I like to think of them as budding and growing businesses because they're not going to stay small for long. But while they are budding, I thought it'd be a great idea to spotlight some of them so that we can do a better job of supporting small businesses as they grow into big business. And tonight, I have invited 4 women business owners into the space, and they're going to share their businesses with you. They are from different industries, which is a little different from what we've been doing with the spotlight. We've been typically spotlighting specific industries and different businesses within it, but I thought we'd try something different this time and bring in people who are from different industries to talk about their businesses. So we do allow comments. We do allow questions. If you hear something and you're like, I need to know more about that business, or I want that product, or you just have a question, please make sure you put it in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and stop. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified when we have new content on the channel. If you're watching on Facebook, hello to our Facebook family. Make sure you are actually following this page. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring our guests in to the room. Hello, ladies. How are you all doing? It's good to see you tonight. You can go ahead and take yourselves off mute so you can talk to me. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I am doing well.
Good evening. Pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming into the Speak Up Sis podcast space. I'm really excited about this particular segment that we do because I too am a budding business and I know what I need. And with Speak Up Sis, God has allowed me to create spaces and create opportunities that I need for myself, for other people. So we're going to have a good time tonight. We've got people already jumping into our space. So let's make sure that we say hello to everyone. Hello, Rochelle. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Great evening to you as well. And yes, Miss Burr. Miss Burr, hello. And welcome into the space tonight as well. You all make sure that you share out this live into your own communities and invite some other people to meet us as well. If you are listening on Speak Up Sis podcast on Spotify or Apple or one of the listening devices or platforms, hello and welcome to you as well. You can always send us a message to podcast@speakupsis.com if you'd like to leave us some messages with some questions or just let us know that you enjoy this show. Now, ladies, if you will, please introduce yourselves to our viewing and listening audience. And so we're going to start with Maria.
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Maria. I am the owner of Up to You Creations. I love to create stickers for your cups, and all kinds of designs are available, and I make different size. And I also like to create gifts. So if you're interested on any of that stuff, I will talk to you more about it later.
Thank you so much, Maria. I thought that was really cute what you just held up. You're going to have to talk to us about that just a little more. I love when people make handmade items or custom design. A lot of people don't know a little known fact about Speak Up Sis. It started as Speak with Chic. And it started with me designing handmade earrings I repurposed from different materials. So I have a special love for crafters and people who create unique things. So welcome, Maria. I appreciate you for coming into the space. So let's move over to Miss Artisha Bolding. If you will, please introduce yourself to our viewing and listening audience.
Good evening, everyone. I am Artisha Bolding, the owner of T-Bold Media Group. I am an author, coach, also known as the Mindset Midwife, and I am absolutely delighted to be here.
That's what's up. Thank you so much for being in the space. I got a chance to meet Artisha in person at 1028, a network in which I'm a member of. And she came in just as bright and with this beautiful spirit and just, talking. I was like, oh, she's definitely somebody I want to be connected to. And so I'm happy that we now have an opportunity to share a professional space with one another. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So let's move over to Dr. Beloved Dillard.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much, Angel. I am Dr. Beloved Dillard, author, entrepreneur, award-winning author, entrepreneur of Beloved Sweets, the best-selling mini sweet potato pie in the country. And I'm excited to be a part of tonight's podcast and looking forward to connecting with everyone. So welcome, and thank you for having me.
Most definitely. We've got to shout out Dr. Beloved Dillard because she is the first recipient of the SpeakUpSis Author of the Year award. Yay! So I'm super duper excited to have you back. There you go. I'm super excited to have you back into the space to share a little bit about why you found yourself holding that award. So I'm sure tonight you'll share a bit about you as an author and your journey as well. So thank you for coming into the space. And we are definitely going to come on and welcome Miss Latoya Washington. If you will, please tell the people a little bit about yourself, Latoya.
Hi, I'm Latoya Washington. I am the host of Broken Vessels podcast. I am from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I'm an author, psalmist. I also do coaching. I do course facilitating. Most importantly, I just love getting to meet other men and women of God to hear their stories and their testimonies. So I'm grateful to be here tonight and love you, sis.
Yes. So you all should know Latoya by now. Latoya is I call her my sister in Christ. She is one of the members of the Morning Moments with Believers, which is a sister circle of mine. And I have been trying to, I know she's like, Angel, just get on my nerves, because if you are in my inner circle, I am pushing you constantly. I'm like, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? You probably should be doing this. I mean, if you need to change that, try this right here, flip that over there, put that down, take that down. That look a mess. So I'm always happy to have Latoya and any of the Morning Moments with Believers sisters inside of the space. That lets me know that they are taking some of my suggestions and putting them to work. So I appreciate you for coming into the space. All right. So we've got some more people who have joined us. We're going to say hello to Marie. Hello. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. Rodney Burford. He says, love, 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 Dr. Beloved. Look at she brought her own crew up in here tonight. Thank you for joining us, sir. We appreciate you. And Tiana T, how you doing, sis? It's good to see you. She says so much brilliance on one platform. I know that's what I'm talking about. So listen, before we begin to talk about what you all do individually, can we just have a little bit of a discussion about being what we call a small business, being a small business owner? If you want to share with us your thoughts about it, do you consider yourself a small business? Do you feel like that's a derogatory term, if you will? I know some people like, I'm not a small business, I'm a whatever. So let's talk about the term itself first. Do you consider yourself a small business and a small business owner?
I consider myself a solopreneur, I want to say, because it's 24/7. There is not really, yes, I do have support, but it's not a backbone per se, because there's a lot of people that are like, this is not going to work. This is, it's just it's just a passion of yours. It will get away or it will pass. And the truth to the matter is, when you love what you do, you don't work for the rest of your life. However, you do have to work 24/7 to get to where you need to be. And I love doing what I do.
Okay, that makes sense. So, when you're talking about yourself, you typically consider yourself a solopreneur.
Yes. I
Gotcha.
The majority of the stuff that I do is, I run just about everything here by myself. Yes, I know eventually I'm gonna have to come or get off that pedestal and go to be, hire people and be able to share what I know with others. But until I get there, I don't like to call myself a business owner because I don't know. In a way, it's kind of a scary because it's like too high up there, because it looks like I am running, millions of dollars or a lot of money on my hands when I'm barely, juggling the little bit I have. So solopreneur sounds better to me than a business owner, if that makes any sense.
It does, Maria. Let me tell you, listen, I already know Latoya and Beloved about to jump on you. Artesia might too. They just might. But I'm going to give them a moment and see. This is what I love about Speak Up Sis. We come in for one reason and we leave doing something else. And I'm going to tell you, Maria, before you leave, I know without a shadow of a doubt that you will be encouraged to begin to walk in the fact that you are a business owner, and you will feel confident in calling yourself a small business owner, because, sweetheart, that is exactly what you are. And so I'm going to shut up because I already know the three that's up in here. They supposed to be talking about themselves, but I know when they heard you, I already knew what they were thinking. So I just want to say, I totally understand you. And I want to encourage you to embrace the idea of being a business owner, because, sweetheart, you run a business and the fact that you run a business on your own, that in itself, that all by itself gives you all the right to say, I am a business owner. And it's small because it's just me right now, but I'm budding and growing because eventually I will have employees and so on and so forth. But you are a business owner. I'm going to give you that one today. And so let me move on so somebody else can jump in this conversation. Tell me what you all think about the term small business owner. Maria, I don't think you're alone in that. Just let me say, I believe there are lots of people who feel exactly how you feel. And I'm so glad that you said what you said tonight. Would someone else like to come on and talk about what you think about this term, small business owner?
Absolutely. And when Maria made her comment, of course, my coaching antenna went up. I'm like, wait a minute, because as the mindset midwife, that's what I do. I work with women and entrepreneurs to birth businesses, books, and brands. And so a big part of it is that mindset. And no, we don't want to be stuck with a label. For me, small is not derogatory, especially because in this country, you get well into the multi seven figures and you're still considered a small business. And that allows you to get grants and contracts and lots of funding. So if that's what it means to be small, I'm okay with being small. But personally, my business and life motto is conquering great things with power, passion, and purpose. So, like you said, Angel, we are small right now, but we are budding. And I like to think of T-Bold Media as a developing enterprise. And I just want to encourage Maria that you are developing, you are growing, and you have to own your ownership.
Absolutely.
I love that last part. Own your ownership. If you are watching this live, please, I need you to put that in the chat. Own your ownership. You are a whole boss. We are whole bosses on this podcast tonight. Own your ownership. I love it. I love it. Love it. Okay, who would like to share next? What do you think about the term small biz owner? Dr. Beloved?
Absolutely. I'd like to tag on with my sister that just spoke, and the fact that as a quote unquote small business owner, we were the recipient of a Walmart grant. We have been on tour with Williams Sonoma, which is a national brand, Ashley Stewart, which is a national brand. We have been in a whole brand of grocery stores as a small business, national television as a small business. Our first major contract was on NBC Good Girls as Cater and as Crafty. And so when I think of small, I think of that seed that looks like it's just one seed. But the scripture says that it goes in one way and multiplies 7 different ways. And so small, the mustard seed of faith, small. The thing that seems like it's insignificant becomes this incredible impact, not just on you, but your family and your family's family and your neighbors and your community and the nation. So I want to encourage Maria that that little thing, when you think of that little, the Bible talks about the little tongue that sets the whole world on fire. You have the ability to set the whole world on fire, to change the trajectory of all things in your life. And so, as my sister said, you can make millions and millions of dollars and still be considered small. But how do you see yourself? God wants to know, how do you see yourself and how do you move forward? Because everything starts with the number one. Everything in life begins with one. And I could say more, but as an entrepreneur, we're Tabitha Brown's top 10 pick in 2019. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I took a recipe. I took my mother's recipe, Mama Ruby's recipe, and started making 5 flavors of sweet potato pie. My daughter comes home and says, "Mom, you are taking over the house. You need to start a business." And that's how we began. And so I'm excited, but I don't want to overspeak everyone else. I know that we're on here together, but yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't get me to preaching now.
Listen, I already knew.
I'm telling
Honey,
you. So
we are a kindred spirit. We are a kindred. Every single woman on here, Artisha, and I don't want so one thing, if you are brand new to SpeakUpSis podcast or the SpeakUpSis platform at all, it's important for you to know that I know the people with whom I labor. Okay, because the Bible tells us to know them that labor among you. And I could tell you about all of the ladies on here. Maria is relatively new, but I've already been in her spaces. Okay, she probably doesn't realize it, but I've been all through her spaces. I've been researching, looking. Before she could get on here, I had to know who she was. Artisha, Latoya, Dr. Beloved. I know these women. I could tell you about all of them. So I knew when I saw this lineup, it was going to be powerful. So sis, we do not dim lights here. Okay. We do not dim lights and SpeakUpSis. That does not happen. So I welcome all of you to share what God leads you to share is what you share. Yes, this is about our small businesses, but this is also the place again where we share stories to inspire stories, because there are people watching you right now where we're talking about being small businesses. And I like that the both of you said small businesses there are people with multi-million dollar organizations that are still considered small, right? And so I like that you brought that up, because the truth is there are people watching us saying, I wish I could get there. If I could only, I wish I could be like SpeakUpSis. I wish I could be like Dr. Beloved. I wish I could do this. And we're going, huh? Right? So we're looking at multimillionaires like, oh, I'm going to get there. And there are people looking at us saying, if I could just get to where you all are. So we share so that we can inspire those around us. Right? So LaToya, talk to me. What's your take on this idea of being a small biz?
Well, I just want to say that it is still a business. But one thing that kind of stood out to me when everyone was sharing is that I just want to say continue to remain faithful at the seed level. Because as you continue to remain faithful and continue to remain consistent, and I can just only speak from my experiences that I work a full-time job. And so during the day, I'm in the world, handling business and working. But then as soon as I come home, I'm at doing what God has called me to do. And so it was starting off as just a t-shirt with me and my husband, but it continued as we remained faithful at that seed level, and we continued to pour in. And some things we gave away, some things, of course, we received money from, but we continued to pour out. And what it felt like we gave out more than what we can give, or gave out more than what we received, but we remain faithful at that seed level. And then what that one little t-shirt did as we launched in 2018 has branches. So we have the courses that we do, we have the homeless involvement that we're a part of, and we didn't see all this, but as we remain faithful at seed level, I just want to encourage you, just remain faithful. And I'm telling you, you will see an abundance of fruit, as my sisters have said. That was all I wanted to say.
Awesome.
Okay. I need y'all to put this one. These are those quotable things. I hope y'all are writing down y'all's quotes and go put them where you need to put them. Remain faithful at seed level. That is powerful. Remain faithful at seed level. A lot of times we get to where it's like, oh gosh, we only care about the big tree or bearing fruit, right? But one thing I remember the Lord saying to me once, a true farmer does not get upset when the stem breaks the soil. Many of us will say, oh, all I made was $30 this week, or all I made was $100, but the stem is breaking the soil. What the farmer says is it's working. The seed has taken root and it's working. So no good farmer cuts the stem down as it's growing because it's not a tree yet. Absolutely. Right? So just continue to be faithful at the seed level, at the stem level, right? Just be faithful. I love that, LaToya. Oh, goodness. This is awesome. This is good stuff. Yeah. I'm being encouraged myself. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get into our spotlight. But before we do that, we have a few other people who have joined the conversation. And so I would love to make sure that we shout them out so they know that we see them. How you doing, Miss White? She said, that's a good word, Dr. Beloved. Thank you so much for joining us on our YouTube channel. If you will, please make sure you click subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get notifications when we have new content on the channel. Hello, Evelyn Renee Farmer. Thank you for joining us tonight. She says, amen. That is my goal, growing, getting to this level where we are. So thank you for joining us tonight. She also says, I share from my heart and it's free and I know God will do the rest. That's right. That's amen. Right. We appreciate you for coming into the space. And Rochelle says, remain faithful at the seed level. Yes, I need y'all to put that in the comments. Remain faithful at the seed level. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into what we are all here for tonight, and that is to hear about these beautiful women and their businesses. And we are going to start with Miss Latoya Washington. She is the host of Broken Vessels podcast. So, Latoya, if you will, please share with us.
Yeah, so excited to be here. I am the host of Broken Vessels podcast. Just looking back, I mean, my God, what a testimony. I remember officially launching in April of 2021, and I had called another sister on here who is hosting tonight to just get feedback, to get thoughts, and just ask questions. And I think what is so beautiful is that I was teachable. I really wanted to know. I know that I was going out into the deep. I know that the Spirit of God was calling me into a place where I would have to be out from behind the scenes. And I was very nervous. It was a arena that I had never been a part of in regards to radio or internet radio or anything. And so I wasn't sure. And so I was asking questions with my sister Angel. I had no previous experience in podcasts. And so I just knew that God was calling me to do this. And so just stepped out there. And when I tell you the first episode we had was Lunchtime Word, and just was sharing about the goodness of God, sharing scripture, and then started getting thoughts of having guests come on and just to have conversation, to just talk to them. And when I tell y'all that I still am blown away by the connections that have come about since launching in 2021. And it is now officially 2 years, and we've been nominated for Podcaster of the Year through SpeakUpSis Awards. And I was just crying just to be nominated. And I'm like, God, what? I didn't expect this. I didn't know this was going to happen. But just by being faithful, just by just obeying God, and just moving. I didn't know, besides the answers I got from my sister Angel, I didn't know what I was doing, but I know I heard God and I know I heard him correctly. And so I'm like, I'm just going to step out here. Had talked to my husband. He's pushing and he's like, go ahead, move forward, and talking to friends and loved ones. And I'm like, go ahead and move forward. And for this first time, I really had to ignore the naysayers. I really had to ignore, oh, well, I don't know. Are you sure you should do that? Are you sure? It's like, I know I heard God's voice. I know I heard him correctly. And as a result of that obedience, I'm here today to share with others about how to start a podcast, and all the information that was shared to me, I'm now sharing it to others. And what's beautiful is that there's so many other podcasters out there, but I'm still Toya. I don't need to change to be anybody else. I'm just me. And I enjoy sitting down with people virtually and hearing their heart, hearing their testimony, hearing how God has brought them through, hearing how they survive, hearing how they've been saved and set free and delivered. I'm just grateful that I'm able to be a part of that. And so I'm here today.
Toya, I'm gonna behave. Y'all just have to know, meeting her at the beginning of her journey, and watching how she has grown. When I first met Latoya, she and her husband, Rhema Creationz, even when I made the original, when we had the original flyer done and I sent the information, I put Rhema Creationz. And then I was like, oh, sis, my bad. You want to talk about the podcast? Because that's how I remember connecting with her and making shirts and making items and writing her books and things of that nature. And then the podcast. And one thing I love what you just said is that you had a teachable spirit. Y'all hold on. That's y'all mama. I'm going to have to edit this out. Hold on a second. Y'all excuse me. So listen, those of you who are watching on Facebook, y'all already know what this is. But I'm gonna have to edit that for my for the audio. So my mom, she in here rolling on her scooter, y'all, running into stuff. I'm like, why is you in here?
Hey, mama.
Everybody say, hey, mama. She told my hey. So the one thing you said was that you have a teachable spirit. And that's the thing when as small business owners, I mean, I believe even if you had a mega business, there's always room for growth. There's always, I'm sure Jeff Bezos has an advisory team. I'm sure there are people sitting around him saying, maybe you don't want to do that. You might want to, right? Why don't you try this? There's always room to grow, and you will always grow when you have a teachable spirit. So before you leave, and we move to someone else, I would like for you to share just a little bit about what people can expect to hear on Broken Vessels podcast.
Oh, well, you can expect to hear testimonies of women who were stabbed by their former husbands and are living today and are healing and are going out and ministering to others in spite of what they went through. We had one guest who died twice because he overdosed. This man was a Fortune 500 company. I mean, literally, his checks was gas money and spending money, and it was in the millions. And he just was snorting his life away, but he gave his life over to the Lord. He didn't want to, live that way anymore because he knew that his child issues had separated him from the love of God. And so you'll hear testimonies about women who are finding their way and who were dealing with people pleasing, and all these different testimonies is what are shared on the podcast. And then most importantly, the word of God. We talk about the word of God, and we love the word of God. So
excellent. So people who would like to be guests on Broken Vessels podcast, do you select your guests? Can anyone just reach out to you to be a guest? How can someone come onto your show and share their testimony?
yes, they can visit www.brokenvesselspodcast.com, and they can also go on to our email to email us at brokenvesselspodcast@gmail.com. Yes.
All right,
And
excellent.
yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. So we are going to move to our next business owner. Thank you so much, Latoya, for sharing Broken Vessels podcast with us. Listen, if you are trying to get out there, get your story out there, if you consider yourself a vessel that was broken and now you are healed or healing, because it's a journey, then reach out to Latoya Washington and see about being a guest on her show. All right. So we're going to move over to Artesia Bolding, and we're going to learn about T-Bold Media.
Yes, Angel, again, thank you. It is a pleasure to be here to discuss my baby, T-Bold Media Group. And as a little girl, I knew that I wanted to do my own thing. I've always had a very interesting relationship with authority, including my mom. And I just knew that I was born to be a boss. I didn't know how that was going to manifest, but I knew at a very young age that I should be in charge. And and those that know me well know that I've been accused of having a bossy takeover spirit, but it's always in love, right? So T-Bold Media Group has a very unique origin story as it was birthed in the hospital bed. I became a full-time entrepreneur on the tail end of a near-death experience. I, with no warning and no medical history that would have given me any indication, I began to experience congestive heart failure at 38 years old. I began to get very sick working at one of the local plants here, and I was chasing money, and I said that my body wound up manifesting the sickness that was in my soul, because even though I was still in church twice a week, every week, for the first time since I was 12, I began to fall asleep in church service. And so red flags were going off. Something was really wrong, but I was so focused on getting money, getting money, getting money. I wasn't doing my family any good, my community any good. And I believe that God just allowed life to slow me down, because to this day, the doctors don't have any indication of what even caused it. But I slipped into a coma 3 times. Okay, I flatlined twice. I literally had one foot in the grave. I was getting up out of here. And I went back and forth in the battle of my life of, you know what, God, I felt like we had a good run. And if you want to call me on to heaven now, I'm fine with that. But I was also very sad. I was sick in myself, because I was thinking about my 15 nieces and nephews. Well, we have some new babies, so it was probably 12 of them at the time. And I said, what am I leaving for them? What kind of legacy am I leaving behind? And when I was trying to make a list out in my head, like, if this is it, what's going to be said about me? What I came up with is that folks would say, she dressed really well and she told great jokes. And I was so hurt in thinking that that was what I was leaving behind. And God and I had a series of conversations, and he pretty much said, are you going to do this my way or what? And so in those still quiet moments, I yielded. For the first time, I fully yielded. And it really changed my life. And so literally in the hospital, going from ICU, hooked up to every machine imaginable, to getting a little better, numbers kind of turning around, I began to pray for everyone who entered my space. I'm talking about the housekeeping. I'm talking about the social worker, the insurance people, the doctors, the nurses, the psych team. Because what happens is, in congestive heart failure and respiratory failure, I went into what's called brain hypoxia, meaning my brain was not getting the proper oxygen. So I was at a level of psychosis, talking completely out of my mind. But in those moments of clarity, I was praying for every person that entered my room. And that I knew was the key to my healing. And in the hospital, I kept telling my family, I was like, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. And the book that I wanted to write was twofold. I wanted to talk about my faith and the fact that it is what carried me through. But I also wanted to write essentially an expose on the mistreatment of Black women in the healthcare system, especially overweight Black women in the healthcare system. So I had all of these ideas, and I'm ministering, and all of these things are happening. And my life changed right there. And whenever I tell this story, I say that I promised myself, if instead of being boxed up or zipped up and carried out of the hospital, if I was allowed to step out of the hospital, I would do life differently. And I did. And so I began to write. I began to do very janky Facebook Lives. And that is what became T-Bold Media Group, where I utilize various media to empower women, to minister to and develop the whole woman, because I am an ordained minister and now certified life coach. And I'm so grateful that we officially legally launched in right at the top of the pandemic. March 2020 is when we got all of our affairs in orders, and we went full blown at this thing. And it has been a very, very wild ride, but I'm grateful. I'm now a 3-time best-selling author. I have birthed best-selling authors, and even started a kingdom entrepreneur mastermind, so that women around the globe aren't afraid to lead with their faith and do what God has purposed them to do. So I'm very, very grateful for the path thus far, and I'm looking to go even further.
All right. Woo! That's a testimony. That's a whole testimony, flatlining and all sorts of things. But you know what? I believe that God will, he gets us where he wants us to be by any means necessary sometime. And I'm not one of those people that believe God does bad things to you to get you somewhere. I believe we make decisions.
That's right.
And he reroutes us as needed.
That's it.
To get us where we need to be, because all things work out for good of those who are called to purpose and who love God. So I don't believe that God like tries to kill us to get it. I hear people say, the Lord did. And I'm like, we serve a good God. I don't know
Yes.
about that. But I do know that he will allow you, because you have free will,
Correct.
to make the decisions that you want to make.
Yes.
And then he allows you to suffer the consequences of the decisions that you made.
Yes.
And then he still works it all out so that you get to your good expected end when you love him and have been called to purpose, right?
Amen.
So
Amen.
I bless the Lord that you are here with us, that he has given you T-Bold Media. When I looked at the name T-Bold Media, a question that I have that I want to ask you, just in case people are watching and may want to know, the media component, is it a certain type of media? Are you building it out to be a fuller media? Like when you say media, which type of media, if you will, is your company? Do you specialize in? Like print,
Right.
video, audio?
Thank you for asking, and very good. I do have to make this point of clarification. So we use various media right now. I do have the vision to build it out later. I am a fellow podcaster like yourself and like our sister Latanya. Bold Journeys podcast, and that's spelled with 2 Z's, for the 2 holidays where I was in the ICU away from my family. And so that was one of the first projects that I birthed in my mom's house after getting discharged from the hospital. And we also use social media. I have the Healed Girl YouTube channel, but my primary media vehicle are my books, and as you have shared here, those are available in the T-Bold Media bookstore at tboldmedia.com/shop. So again, yes, going to build it out even more, but the primary vehicle currently social media as well as the published works.
Got you. All right. Excellent. So you all make sure you go to tboldmedia.com, check out the print publications, and you want to make sure that you listen to the podcast. And I pop in from time to time as well when she's doing her lives. They're really good. So make sure you all get connected. All right. Thank you so much, Artisha, for sharing T-Bold Media with us tonight. Those of you who are watching, whether you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe, click the notification bell, and join our SpeakUpSis YouTube community. And if you are on Facebook, hello, make sure that you're actually following us. Some of you are watching, but you don't actually follow. So help us out there. We do have a comment, so let's take a look. Rochelle says, hallelujah. He stretched your faith to increase your capacity for all he has you doing now and more to birth. Premature death, God stopped. Hallelujah. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Rochelle. We appreciate it. So let's move on to Miss Maria. And let's hear all about Up to You Creations.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you, girls. You gave me a little bit of sense of belonging for the future, because definitely I was stuck in the little spot. However, let me tell you my story. I started, actually, Up to You Creations started in 2014 as, this is going to be fast, home expression style. all together. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything. I was just learning how to do it. And I actually started by crocheting items like this, like hats and scarves. And I don't have the baby outfit to show you, but I make baby outfits. However, things got a little bit, life got in the way, my kids, my job changing. I had gotten sick before I started the business. And when I moved from New York to South Carolina, I was healing from it, but I was not 100%. I'm still not 100%. So this is what I do because, um, as you can see, I don't look sick. So nobody believes that what I have is what I have, and therefore I adapted to make something out of it. And now, after fighting and understanding that that part of the business helped me learn how to navigate the taxes and the opening of the business and what to do on Etsy and the website and all these other descriptions and photo shoots and you name it. I decided that it was time. I had this little, I want to call it like an extra voice in the back of my head for about a year, that said, you need to change the name. You need to change the name or you're going down and you're going to burn. And finally, one day I was sitting by myself in my living room table, and I was crocheting a scarf, and I said, "This is it. I have to change the name." And then I start toying around with a couple of things, and then up to you, because a lot of the things that I create. You tell me what to do, and I create them for you, and therefore that's how Up to You Creations was born. It is up to you what I create. I do create things like this where I was just inspired to make this for Halloween. But if you have an idea and you wanted to make it happen, I will put it together. And also, I do business cards and I do thank you notes and all these things. You have to put your flavor on it, and so I love creating that, and that's why I do stickers. Some of them are funny, some of them are just pictures, whichever this may be. And I've been on Etsy again. I changed the name a year and a half ago, I want to say, and I opened a store June of this year. So I am navigating this new part of my routine of being a business owner, and now I actually have a store. And I know it only started in June, but it is just growing, and I am so happy and I'm so excited because now I can create more and I can talk to people and I can tell them all these things that I do and how can I help maybe a small business. They need business cards and they cannot afford, whatever. Hey, let me help you. Let's work together. And I hope I can continue to grow and I can continue to create for everybody, and I can continue to talk to people as it goes. And I am on TikTok, I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook. I try to be everywhere. And hopefully if somebody can reach me through it, they have the capabilities of doing so, because nowadays there's not enough platforms to be in, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And again, I want to say thank you, Maria, for coming into this space because you are really new into the space. The other ladies I've met in other spaces, they've met me. They either know the platform, they know me, or they know both. You are brand spanking new
The
to
baby.
right, the platform, the podcast, and all of it. And so I want to extend the opportunity for you to spend some time in the Speak Up Sis space. I am open to sharing with you. I believe information is free. It should be free
Yes.
anyway. I am always open to helping, sharing, and all that good stuff. And I love the name of your business. I love the fact that you were able to sort of course correct. I love the fact that you started your business. You're running it because Speak Up Sis started just like Up to You Creations. I had Speak with Chic, and everybody kept calling it Chick. And I speak with Chick. And I was like, Chick has a K on the end, right? But I knew early on, like this, if people can't properly pronounce the name of your business, it's not going to work. You
Yeah.
know, if it's not doing what you think it's supposed to do, then you've got to do some things. And you did that, right? And you were like, hey, I need to do something else. Etsy, I don't know. Etsy is hard, y'all. Just can I say that? Etsy
It,
is not an people are making it seem like the
Etsy is not for the weary.
no, the fact that you are running an Etsy shop and you run your business from the market. If you all notice, it says at the market at the mill, 225 Pumpkin Town Highway. She's running an in-person space, she's running an online space, and that online space, I don't do Etsy because I couldn't figure it out. I'm gonna just be honest with you. It was too much. I was like, I don't want to do it. So I applaud you for coming into the space. I welcome you into the space. I believe Speak Up Sis, uh, uh, our platform, I believe would be very helpful and
I,
encouraging for you.
in
So
a,
I welcome you.
it definitely, in a weird way, the way that I found you was out of really pure luck. And I saw your post about coming in, and I don't know, just I jumped to it. And I now know why I needed to hear these ladies say what they said. I needed that energy because I was feeling, when you're working 24/7, you kind of tend to run out of energy. And hearing them saying all these things and all these words of encouragement, it actually refill my energy, and I do want to thank all of you for that. It was something that I needed. It I wasn't expecting it, which is even more gracious that way, because when you're not expecting it, you're receiving it a lot more powerful. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. It's, I'm Pickens, I'm small and whatever else, but I am growing, and I'm here. I'm here to stay, and I'm here to continue to learn and to become a better on every aspect of every way.
Excellent. I love it. I thank you. And just know I will be shopping at Up to You Creations tonight. And I invite everyone who is watching. Sometimes some of us need a little extra encouragement. And so I am asking that you shop with all of the women tonight. And I know specifically I will be shopping with Up to You Creations tonight because that sister needs that little extra. So make sure, and I'm not talking about that little extra money. I'm talking about that extra support, that extra hug, that extra bit of love, that extra bit of encouragement, that extra bit of somebody cares and sees me. Sometimes we have to be able to see beyond money and see what it is that God is doing
Yes.
in the moment. And so, Maria, I thank you. Her information is on the screen like everyone else's. So make sure you jot it down. I want you to shop with all these women tonight. I bless God that every single one of them will have a sale tonight. Glory. And it is so. So we are going to wrap with Dr. Beloved Dillard. And I know she about to take us home. We're finna have a whole home run. I already know it. So come on up, sis. Before you come up, let's shout out Coach Val right now for coming into the building. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. She says, awesome. I'll have to watch the replay. Yes, you will, because it has been a great one. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up Dr. Beloved Dillard. We can't hear you. Mm-mm. We cannot hear you. All right, so we've got just a bit of technical difficulty here. That's okay. We're going to see what we can do here. Let's bring her back up. No, we can't hear you. So how about go out and come back in? All right, no worries. We're going to give Dr. Beloved Dillard a moment to regroup. For whatever reason, her mic is not working for us tonight just yet. So we're going to give her a chance to come back in.
Here?
There you go.
Well, hey, everybody, this is Dr. Beloved. And let me start off by saying my sisters and me are limbs from the same tree. As we each branch forth, we pattern our own course. We've been touched with the same past, filled with like griefs, yet it's my belief through suffering and discontentment, we'll find refuge in the tree from which we stem. Me and them together we'll win. I'm Dr. Beloved, and I am so excited about being here on SpeakUpSis Spotlight tonight as the host angel, the angel of the house, has already said I am author of the year, recipient of Speak Up Sisters, SIS award, and also I am the Segway secret book club winner of the author of the year this year. I am an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, I am the owner of Beloved Sweets, the best-selling mini sweet potato company in the country. Yes, what I said. Yes, ma'am. It's so good. And also, as an entrepreneur, I am a relationship coach and a spiritual coach. Many of you may have heard my story on Unfiltered Stories. At now, it's at 4.7 million views of overcoming sexual abuse from the age of 2 until I was 9 years old. And so currently you can go to my website and our book is on sale, Angel. Out of My Soul. When the parents are the predators, there's no place to hide. This is a tremendous book of overcoming over of overwhelming and insurmountable odds, but the book also provides tools and skills to help identify those who may be dealing with abuse. I'm also the author of Love, Marriage, and Faith for Sex for couples who desire and dare intimacy. And on November the 3rd and 4th, we'll be having a marriage retreat here in Augusta, Georgia. I work out of Metro Atlanta. I have a passport so I can go anywhere. And so I do these marriage retreats all over the country. We've been on tour since January. And also on November the 18th, which is National Sexual Assault Day, we will be having our book club. The only entry is that you need the book to start reading. And this will also launch a support group. This is my life's work. I have overcome many obstacles. I have an honorary doctorate, a master's of divinity from Emory and ITC here in the Metro Atlanta area. I'm an HBCU grad of St. Augustine's College and University. I am an international poet laureate. I'm just thankful to be alive. And one thing I believe as I get off, I would like to say, get the lesson or the lesson to get you. That's my mantra. Get the lesson or the lesson will get you. And every opportunity is an opportunity. Now is the time to create. Thank you so much, Angel. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Get the lesson or the lesson to get you. Put it in the chat. I need y'all to quote these women. Make sure you put their names on the end of these quotes when y'all start posting them all over your social
and
media.
Like I said, I'm beloveddillard.com. I don't know if you guys even heard me earlier. That's my website.
Yes, they see it on the screen, beloveddillard.com. And she is on all social media platforms as Beloved Dillard.
Yes.
Listen, sis, I am excited about everything that you are doing. You and I had an opportunity to do a little chit-chatting. For those of you who really know me, you know you never just chit-chat with me. If you end up with me on the phone, it's not a chit-chat. I call it a chit-chat, but it'd be hours.
Yes. Like the songwriter said, right? Hours and hours.
Yes. Hours and hours. And we had an opportunity to talk, and I was telling her that I watched a bit of the video that she did, and you all have to go check it out. You'll have to tell them again where they can see the documentary, the video that was done of you with you sharing your story. And because I too am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, I was like, oh, it was hard. It was hard to listen to. But the truth is that those stories need to be shared. They need to be shared
Absolutely.
unfiltered. They need to be shared in every different voice that they can be shared. I share my story in the way I need to share it. Beloved shares her story in the way she needs to share it. And I think you all will be truly blessed. If you are a survivor of sexual trauma, whether it's as a child or a teen or an adult, you'll be blessed by her work. If you are not someone who has had that type of trauma directly, I believe you'll be blessed in terms of being educated. I remember a man once reading one of my books, and he said he felt like he could better talk to his daughter and better protect her because he read about the men that I had encountered.
Well, I wanted to say, as you're
Go
saying,
ahead.
I with 4.7 million views, I've been communicating with people from all over the world about being able now to share their stories. People have told me that I'm leaving this abusive marriage. Several people have commented, I mean, from Nigeria, from Arabia, from India, from the UK, from down under. I was watching your video and I decided not to kill myself. So I've been doing domestic violence advocacy nationally since 2004. Lobbied with Joe Biden, Maxine Waters, had the opportunity to be at Emory University with the Human Sex Trafficking Summit with the lawyers there. And so this is my life's work. If you are out there and you need a keynote speaker or you need a spiritual coach, I am also a licensed ordained elder minister. With the apostolic anointing, I must say, and a prophetic voice, I must say, but this is my life's passion and my life's work. And so being able to connect with Speak Up Sis is very prophetic in that God first called women. Most people don't know that the first apostle was a woman. Uh, Mary Magdalene. And it was the woman at the well who went back to the city and tore the city upside down because of her encounter with Christ. And I think that when you connect with Speak Up Sis, those are the types of encounters you will have. You will be empowered to go back and do like the African phrase is Sankofa, go back to bring forward, to deliver, to set free, and to establish a work, not just for yourself, because we never just do a work for ourselves, but for those who God has assigned us to. And so I invite you to go again to my website, beloveddillard.com. You can put a request to connect with me there, and we can move forward. But thank you so much, Angel. Thank you so much. Winning this award, that's why I got it in my hand, meant so much to me because telling my story was a little scary. Once you put that thing out there, it never goes away. And so it just meant to hear my name called, and my childhood friend from New York flew down to Atlanta and caught an Uber to Augusta so she could be with me. This is somebody that has known me all of my life, who would sit on the stoop with me and say, one day you got to tell your story. And to have my daughter there, my adoptive mother there, Mama Ruby, this was a trip. Oh, it was just tremendous. There are no words to express my gratitude, my thankfulness, and that I have a responsibility to make a change. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Cha, you about to start something in here. I bless God for your voice, your life, your testimony. I am grateful that you do not love your life unto death, but
Yes.
that you share the word of your testimony, because we have been taught to take it to the grave, and taking it to the grave is what's taking us to an early grave. And I bless the Lord that you are speaking up, sis. All of you are speaking up. You're speaking up through your businesses. You're speaking up through every gift that God has given you, and those gifts are making room for you in this world. And your stories are other people's breakthroughs, right? And so I appreciate every single one of you for coming on tonight. I'm gonna do this one last time. If you have been rocking with first thing, just let's hear really quickly from the people, because there are people watching us tonight. And what I would like to know is if the people have enjoyed the Small Biz Spotlight tonight. So if you are watching us on Facebook or you're watching us on YouTube, I would love for you to put a little something, a little word of encouragement in the comments for the ladies so we can take a look at them and let them know that you all see them, hear them, and have been inspired by what it is that they have said tonight. Rochelle Gaynor, she says, come on, Dr. Beloved, teach it. Lisa says, that's beautiful, Dr. Beloved. Thank you for being bold enough to share your story. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Rochelle Gaynor, she has been all the way live. Shout out to you, Rochelle Gaynor, for watching us tonight and being here throughout the entire night. She says, beautiful hand claps, sending lots of love. Hello, Dina. How you doing? She says, hey, beautiful ladies. Thank you all so much for joining us. Rodney says, loved it. God is the foundation of all these endeavors. Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and for sharing your voices. Coach Val says, from what I've heard so far, I want to say thank you all for sharing the wisdom. Marie says, ladies, you are all beautiful and bold. I salute you all. They coming in, y'all. They coming in hot. Lisa says, definitely inspired. Sarah says, amazing. And I want to thank you, Dina, for the stars. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, I appreciate you all for sending stars. It helps me to continue to be able to do the work that I do in this space on Facebook. So the way that we typically end our lives when we are on Facebook is I give everyone an opportunity to give like a 15-second, if you will, last word of encouragement for those who are watching, those who are small business owners, those who are looking to be small business owners. If you could say something really briefly to them to encourage them, I would like for you to do that. And we are going to, let's see, we'll go from the bottom up. So Dr. Beloved, we are going to start with you, and I'm going to put your information back up on the screen so that people can grab that if they did not get it already. Okay, so give us a quick word of encouragement.
That word would be, every opportunity is an opportunity. And don't be afraid to steal the moment. Your now moment is waiting on you.
Excellent. Love it, love it, love it. Maria.
Don't ever give up. And if you feel like you're drowning, just turn around, take a deep breath, start all over, and you'll realize that the world is in front of you yet again.
Oh, all of these are so good. Okay. T-Bold.
Listen, I want everyone to know that it's not over until it's good. And if it's not good, it's not over. You can conquer great things with power, passion, and purpose.
Hot dog. Y'all got it going on. Latoya.
Continue being you. Continue sharing light. Continue sharing love.
Oh, perfect. Thank you all so much for coming into the Speak Up Sis podcast space tonight for the Small Biz Spotlight. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I thank every single one of you for what you do in this world. I thank you for allowing the Lord to lead you and for allowing the rest of us to be able to share in your gift and be partakers of what it is that God has given you to give to us. So thank you so much for being in the space. And with that, everyone, we're going to call it a night. I want to thank you all for coming into the Speak Up Sis podcast, Small Biz Spotlight tonight. If you would like to be in the spotlight with your business, all you have to do is go to speakupsis.com/podcast. And there is a button that says Small Biz Spotlight. If you click on that button, there'll be a form that pops up. Complete that form and make sure you click the Small Biz Spotlight and do what it tells you to do. And we will be finding our next 4 businesses for the month of November. So if you would like to be in the spotlight for November and or December, make sure you go to speakupsis.com/podcast, click Small Biz Spotlight, complete the form and submit it. And with that, you all, I want to say, remember to open up your mouths and speak up in your personal life as well as your business. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll talk to you real soon.